Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. I am Nate, and this is Peach Domino Paper Crafts. Now, that didn't fly very far today, did it? There we go. Ah, it came back. Sorry, got a little off track there. If you are new here, we make paper crafts. Ignore the flamingo. We make paper crafts. We make junk journals, and we make tags and tabs and hidden paper clips. It's in there, I promise. And we make all kinds of things. Right now we're focused on the junk journals that I'm doing for this month's self challenge, where I'm trying to make 26 journals in 2 different themes, 13 of each, not 26 of each. I don't feel like I can do 52 journals. But anyway, if you've been keeping up with the things we've done, we're also doing Fairy Wings and Forgotten Things September, which is why one of the themes for the journals is fairies. The other one is Halloween. But if you're new here, that's what we do, and I would like it if you would click on that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that YouTube always lets you know when I've got a new video. And if you like this video and it's informative, make sure you're hitting that like button. If you're not new here, welcome back. I've missed you. How's your mom and them? So today we are going to make fairy journal cards. And I know some of you are going to be a little excited about that because we do have somewhere in this stack, here it is, that thick money card that we were going to play with. But I also made some others. I have some, these ones are all the ones that are specifically fairy themed, whether that's because they're bright green on one side or because they're Monopoly money or this pretty pattern right here. But we've got a lot of fairy themed ones, and we've also got this big stack still of journal cards that could be used anywhere. That one needs to come out. That's a fairy one. So these all have fronts, they have backs, they're ready to be done. And I know you're all thinking, well, what is he gonna do with that money card there, the big one? I'm so excited, I want to know, and I'm glad you asked. This is the big bucket of fairy ephemera. That was very hard to say. Oops, those are fairy cards too. So this is the fairy ephemera. It's not as much as the Halloween, but it's enough to do this. So we're going to see what we've got here. We got this giant circle here. Let's see, here's another one. I don't know, maybe. Oh, that's perfect. It's Charlie. If you don't know who Charlie is, you're just too young or too old. I'm not sure which. It's a magical Leopleurodon, Charlie. I'm not doing it like they do. So I want to make sure Charlie is popped up, though. And I don't want to spend a year taking dots off. So we're going to use some of our big dots. Yes, I know these dots are actually squares. Don't come for me. Sometimes dots are square. It's just the way we're looking at it today. I don't have a story prepared today either. Just like yesterday. Oh, empty. Yes. So I'll try to think of something while we work. I don't know if there's much to tell that's left to tell. Ignore the fact that my dog's hair is all over the place. I could tell... Oh! No, that one makes me look bad. Just kidding. So, when I was a baby, We talked about this yesterday, my definition of baby. I was 5 or 6. I was young. 2 or 3? I don't know. Somewhere between 3 and 6. Back in the 80s. So it was a different time. Don't ask. So back in the 80s, I was, I don't know, young. And there was this guy who kept trying to get my mother to go out with him. And my mother is only 20 years older than me. That's a stacked pocket. So she was 23 to 26. But this guy was like, I don't know, in his 40s or something. And she always told him no. Now you got to remember these stories all came from my mama. I don't remember any of them directly. But she always told him no. But he kept on and kept on. So one day, I'm walking back from playing with some kids, and we had been playing baseball. No, we hadn't. That's not true. I'm walking back from playing with some kids. And I walk past this guy, and I hear him call my mother a nasty name. And according to legend, I go back in the house, I grab up my baseball bat, and I head back outside. I don't think I want to put anything behind Charlie, actually. I thought I would, but I don't think I will. I go back inside and grab my baseball bat and go back out. Here in a few minutes, I come in the house just crying, and my uncle comes in the house just laughing. Gotta get the dogs out of the craft room. And my mom, she can't figure out what's going on, so she asks my uncle. And it turns out that I've always been a protective little thing. When that man called my mama a nasty word, and I sat inside and grabbed my baseball bat, and when I came back in the house, it's because my uncle had pulled me off of this guy. My little baby self had this grown 40-some-odd-year-old man on the ground begging for help because I was beating his behind with that baseball bat. So from a young age, I've always been very protective of my mother. You don't call my mother names. You don't treat my mama bad. Things like that. Well, come 10-ish years later, I'm around 16. And my stepdaddy, this is before they got married, and my mama got in a fight. And I'm just sitting in my room bawling my eyes out because I'm trying not to get involved. It's not my fight. I'm learning at this point that we don't have to protect Mom as much. She is good at this. She can protect herself. But I'm just crying mad. And I grab up my hockey stick and I walk out in the living room and see my stepdaddy holding my mama down. And I nearly went down on him. They stopped me. Now, it's good that they did because he was holding her down because she wouldn't stop hitting him because they were fighting, and he never hit her. He never laid a hand on her like that. That I know of. But he wouldn't stop, or she wouldn't stop hitting him. So he was trying to stop her from hitting him. And I get that. I fully get that. So that would have been a bad one if I'd have got involved. But over the years I've learned that my mother can handle herself. Lots of people can. Some people cannot. And for all my bravado, I've never actually been in a fight. No, not even once. So, I don't know how I'd do in one. I like to think I'd do just fine. But again, you don't know till you're in that situation. Plus, I don't really want to get in a fight. It just seems like a lot of effort. And I don't know, y'all don't know me, but effort's not really my middle name here. What about this orange to bring out the... or a whole nother purple? I know that story puts me in a bad light, but I was just trying to protect my mom. I've always been kind of determined that that was my job. What in the biscuit weavers is going on? That's not supposed to be there. Because it doesn't need to be. What? That's weird. I put little Velcro dots on the back of my ink pads to store my dauber tips. This dog hair, I swear to goodness, I gotta get the dogs out of here. I got one dog. Well, I got two, but I got one dog that is no hair. He's a pit bull mixed with a Great Dane. Neither one of those really have any hair. But he is nearly bald, I swear. But I've got one. She is part Catahoula and part Blue Heeler. And I don't know if you've ever met either one of those dogs. They're not short-haired dogs, but they're not long-haired dogs either. They're not even really medium-haired dogs. They're on the longer end of short. But this woman, she's my baby. She is 14. She has earned every right, every privilege that she gets. She has definitely got medium hair. Like, imagine a golden retriever with slightly shorter hair. Or an Aussie with slightly longer hair. It's bad. And she doesn't have a shedding season. She has a shedding life. So there is always, I can vacuum my house 7 times a day and there will still be a dog hair ball in the corner no matter what. So there's one card done. I guess I'll tell you the story of how I got my doggies. It's really neat. It's also part of the naming convention here because this is my 14-year-old dog Peaches and this is my 4-year-old dog Domino. So when we got Peaches, she was 2, I believe. We're not really sure. She came from a garage sale. Yes, you heard me. I said she came from a garage sale. So what happened was my mother went to a garage sale. I was trying to decide which way was up. My mother went to a garage sale, as she does. And they had this dog. And they told her that they were getting ready to move, you know, that's why they're having the garage sale. And she went over and she petted this dog. She's chained to a tree. And I have my issues with dogs being chained anywhere, but if you're outside and they're outside and you're, you know, they got water and shade and all the necessaries and you don't leave them out there 24/7, then I can forgive you for chaining your dog. Now, yeah, I know sometimes there's no other choice, but again, don't leave them out there all the time. They don't deserve that. If you have to do that, then get rid of them. But that's a whole nother rant. So she sees this dog and she's loving on this dog. Oh God. And they tell her, "Hey, you want her?" And she's like, "What? You're not taking your dog?" They're like, "No, can't take her with us." Yada yada yada. And I don't have a lot of stuff that's gonna go on this. It's not premium. They tell her, she's a great dog and all, but we can't take her. She's like, "Well, what are you gonna do with her? You got somebody to take her?" And they're like, "No, I'm just gonna leave her." I'm hoping they meant they were gonna unchain her, but I didn't meet the people. My mother wouldn't let me meet the people, which is good because I have some words from those kinds of people. But Mom took the dog, and she had the dog, I don't know, a couple months, and then me and my wife moved in with my mother. We moved back to town, things like that, and that's where we were staying. And right before we did, she decided she couldn't take care of the dog. She didn't need another dog. She had 4 of them at the time. So she went and she took this dog to the pound. And if you know my mother, which you don't, but if you knew my mother, you would know how uncharacteristic that is. She doesn't do that. Well, she did, and she, the day before we moved back in, she went and picked the immediate next day, she went and picked this dog up because she felt so guilty about that dog just sitting in a shelter. And they let her, both times for free, which is weird for our shelter, but usually they charge you both times. But, she picked her back up, and then when we moved in, she said, "I can't keep this dog." And we said, "Well, we don't have a dog right now, we'll take her." And I was already upset because we did have 2 dogs before we moved, and Mom said, "You can't bring those dogs here. There's too many dogs at this house already." And that made me sad because we couldn't keep those dogs, and I knew what was going to happen to those dogs because the aunt that we were living with couldn't keep them, and my cousin already had quite a few of his own. He couldn't take them. But we got this dog, and she was lovely. She's such a sweetheart, and she was pregnant when we got her. My mom's mutt, before my mom could get her fixed or anything, had gotten to her, and you should see the look on her face when she had those babies. She was so proud to be a mama. Oh, she was so proud to be a mama. I wish I could have kept them all. She was such a good mama. But we did have to get her fixed immediately afterwards because we are not financially equipped to take care of puppies, no matter how much I want them. So she got fixed. We rehomed the puppies. They were beautiful. They looked like husky puppies. I'm just going to tell you that. My dog is black and just a tiny bit gray and more black and shadow, and I swear she's made out of shadow and coal. She's a sweetheart, but she's dark. I'll tell you some more stories about my baby. Maybe next time we'll talk about Domino, but today we're going to talk about Peach. I don't know, we might talk about Domino later. But yeah, she got stepped on a lot. Not on purpose, but she blends in so well. It's just uncanny, I'm telling you, how well this dog blends into the background. She can be sitting on a white couch and she's the only shadow there is, but you can't see her. She's just blends into everything. Absolutely. All of it. But we got her a glow-in-the-dark collar one time. And it had a button on it that you turn on. And it would light up, you know. And so we got her that. And we turned it on at night. And for the first 2 or 3 nights, we had it on her. And she came to realize that, hey, I'm not getting stepped on as much. So, you know, she liked it. And she'd sleep in her corners again like she liked. These ones are harder for me to do than the other ones, but we'll get them done. So she'd sleep in her corners again, and kind of. So the 4th night, it was dead, and we couldn't figure out why. It's only been 4 nights. Like maybe it's just shipped with one of those horrible cheap batteries. So we're like, okay, well, fine. We got the case opened and we bought some batteries and put them in, and 3, 4 nights later, 5 nights later, it's dead again. So like something is going on. And we put new batteries in it. We started watching. And that's when we noticed little tiny indentions. We got to looking, and it turns out this dog was, every time she wanted to lay in a corner, she had learned how to bite down on that button and turn it on. But she never turned it back. Well, I guess she must have turned it back off, because we never saw it. I never saw her turn it back off, but I guess she did. So, yeah, she's super smart. Wickedly smart. We lived in the country. And when I say we lived in the country, I don't mean, 10, 15 miles from town and things. No. We lived in a town of 250 people, where the main street had a stoplight, which was actually just a blinking light. We had a post office. We had high-speed internet, like fiber speed internet, and 4 houses, 4 occupied houses. But the town was actually huge, land-wise, which is how we got to 250 people, because it was farms. And it was 15 minutes from the nearest town, but the nearest town had 1 actual stoplight, 3 gas stations, and a grocery store. Well, and a couple of restaurants, but that's what I'm talking about when I say I lived in a small town. The nearest Walmart was 45 minutes away. And there wasn't even a Walmart in our county, if you want the honest truth. So it is a small town. One day, I hear barking. And my dogs, we leave the door open. My dogs are allowed to roam wherever they want, as long as they don't cross the street. So they've got a 1-block radius. Little more because the back street is dirt. So we don't get as mad for them crossing the back street, even though we don't want them to. I'm just trying to sort out a little bit, which I should have done before, so I know what I've got. But one day I hear barking, and I go out in the front yard, and my dog is trotting on our side of the street, and it's a busy highway. The UPS man, or the FedEx man, comes through at 100 miles an hour, and that's not an exaggeration. But she's trotting down the street on our side of the street, and on the opposite side of the street is a cow. This dog has to the best of our knowledge, because the people that she was with were in the city. So to the best of our knowledge, this dog has never been a cattle dog. Even though she's bred to be, you know, but genetics takes hold. She is herding this cow as far as she can herd it, which, I don't know, is I guess maybe a block before she hits the next highway. I'll leave that. I'll cover this. And just trot along on our side of the street, keeping to the rules. Back in my pile of stuff to go back in the thing. Same with that. These are just little bits and bobs that I've got. I'm not sure about. I don't know how to feel about this one. But we're pretty sure that she got kicked by a horse or hit by a car. A slow-moving car, nonetheless a car. Because we had her 2-3 years, and then she started limping. Not out every day, but on cold days, you know. On cold days, she would limp. And to this day, she takes hip supplements. And she limps every day. There was one day when she was 10, I suppose. We woke up and I was so terrified because she could not move at all. She couldn't stand up. Every time we tried to flex her legs, she would yelp and nip, which is when you know there's something wrong, because she does not nip, she does not bite. As she gets older, she nips a little more when she's playing with me. She's learned she can, because that's what the other dogs do. But she's never really been a dog, if that makes sense. She occasionally, when we'd give her stuffed animals, she'd take them out in the yard and pile them up. Occasionally she'd play with them, but she just wanted to lay in the house and protect us after we moved out of the country. When we moved to that big city of one stoplight, she just wanted to lay in the house and protect us. She's one of them farm dogs that if I had a flatbed trailer or a flatbed truck with a toolbox on it, she'd ride on the cab. On top of the cab. She is part mountain goat, but she does not jump. Never really has. It's just not in her being. Does this look finished to you guys? It's missing something. Ooh, that's shiny and green. Okay. We'll use a bit of this. She's my pretty, pretty Princess Peach Pit. Destroyer of Souls. And I leave that last part in because when she gets ready to go to bed at night, or wants to thank you for something or anything like that, she doesn't give kisses. No. She collects her violence. You tell her give kisses, and yeah, she'll give you kisses. But if you tell her violence, she will aggressively lick your face from here to there and back again with a vengeance. She loves her violence. Let me use this. I didn't like the Fabri-Tac. I think it still is. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look and see real quick. I think that thing's still stripy. Yeah, see? My yesterday card? is still stripy from that fiber tack. I don't like it. I don't know if I'll ever use it again. I'm sure I will. Don't let me get to you. We used to have a cat. Before we get to the story of the cat, let me tell you that my dog, Peaches, she loves animals. No lie. No. Got scared for a second. I think I might have to use the fiber tack. That's not doing nothing. She loves animals. She'll sniff them, nose at them. She might even nip at them to play with them, you know. She's never hurt a fly. So, now I say that, but I don't know what she'd do with a squirrel. I think she's had an opportunity to sniff a squirrel up close, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. I used to have a friend who was a wildlife rehabber, and she'll tell you that Peaches went after a possum that she had that was unable to be released back into the wild. You know, the possum kind of free roamed the house. So we were letting Peach and Domino get used to the animals because we didn't know what they do. But Peaches did go after the possum because when Domino reached down to sniff the possum swiped at him. I guess because he got too close or something. But the possum swiped at him, so he barked and went after the possum, and Peach went after the possum, and I think Peach bit the tail of the possum. But again, she went after the possum because the possum went after her fur brother. But squirrels. We were talking about squirrels and how they're very distracting. Peach likes to chase the squirrels through the trees. No, Peach does not climb the trees, but she'll watch up in the trees for the squirrels, and she will run along the ground chasing the squirrels, and the squirrels will lead her around in, you know, pursuit or whatever. I like that better. Are we okay with this? So, yeah. But we had a cat, and this is going to be pertinent to the squirrel story, and only to the squirrel story. Peach loved the cat. Doesn't matter. Peach loved the cat. I've never wanted a cat. This cat adopted me. A friend of mine said, "Come get this thing." So I get up there, she hands me a cat. Cat curled up on top of my head and went to sleep. Do I know why the cat curled on my head to go to sleep? No. Do I care? No. Cat adopted me. I'm fine with it. It is what it is. So the cat. The cat was outside one day, and this was before I knew what I know now about cats and outdoors and things. Cat was outside, and there was a squirrel in the front yard, and Peach got the cat, started chasing squirrels. But if you know anything about cats, you know that cats are the domestic cats are the only animal that kills for fun, because their prey drive never stops. As a baby, anyway, you can learn how cats work on your own time. But anyway, the cat was outside, and we called him back, and he was coming. But there was a squirrel under the truck. And the cat got halfway to the squirrel, and the squirrel moved. Cat picked up the scent, and the chase was on. And by chase, I mean the squirrel ran around the truck, cat ran around the squirrel, And this went on for a solid 5 minutes before I finally stopped laughing long enough to whistle and get the cat's attention again. And he came immediately back in. He was a very good cat. Very, very good cat. He liked to play fetch. Basically, he was a dog in a cat body. You know, that kind of thing. I think we'll go ahead and oof this one down too. So, well, that was a mistake. I'll carve that corner by hand. I'm trying to think of more Peach's stories. Oh, I got one that just happened the other day, last week. So my dogs have these two, I believe they're cow bones. Well, you know, they're filled. They're the ones that are hollow in the middle and filled with, I don't know, peanut butter or some such. They've been eating on these things forever. And there's 2 of them. It's not like they have to share one bone or anything. But, that didn't, what? So, Domino had his bone. Peach had her bone. And they're in 2 separate rooms. Well, Peach came in here to stay with me because she doesn't like to be alone. If she can, like, she does, but she doesn't. She usually sleeps in the big bedroom on the other side of the bed to keep from getting stepped on. Like, all day long, that's where you'll find her. But if Kita isn't home, she'll come and sleep in my doorway. And that's not to say Kita's in that bedroom, because Kita's usually in the dining room at work. But, yeah. If Kita isn't home, Peach will sleep in my doorway. Well, she came in and she saw that her brother had his bone, and she got jealous. And I guess she formulated a plan. But all of a sudden, she's standing at the baby gate. We have a baby gate in between the living room and the bedrooms because the Chihuahuas, which are not my Chihuahuas, they're my, pardon me, they're my sister-in-law's Chihuahuas. But anyway, there's the baby gate. And she goes and she stands at the baby gate and she just starts barking like crazy. And because she starts barking, Domino gets up and runs in there and just indiscriminately barks. Doesn't care what he's barking at. Something's happening, so we're barking, and that's that. But while he's in there barking, Peach came running back to the bedroom and started eating his bone. Not even a little bit of a lie. She just went to town on his bone because he wasn't there to protect it, I suppose. But yeah, she raised a ruckus, and he ran off and she stole his bone. These are a little big for what I want right here. Something needs to happen right here. You know what? I've got stamps that I've forgotten about. That's a little big. That's a little big. I'm not ready for this pattern. Ooh, mushrooms. Where's my stamp? And give me seedless preserves. And this mushroom, ink it up real good. And get another card or 2 out. This will work. I want to put this right here. But yeah, she just raised the stink and made him leave his bone. It was pretty funny, actually. And she's the only dog in the house that absolutely loves broccoli. And the other dogs will tolerate it if it's the only vegetable we put in their food that day. But she adores broccoli. I lost my stamp sheet, y'all. If you see it, let me know, please. It's right in front of my face. Oh, that's me. I'm not the brightest bulb sometimes. I think I want to do another... I'm going to do something on the back, though. Let's see what we got that we can put on the back. Here's a leaf out of nowhere. We got this paisley pattern. I could do... It's got plants in it. Actually, yeah, let me get a couple of colors going on. And this one. And this one. That should do. Sometimes it is hard to get these colors out of here. I want it to pick up all three, so we'll just do it like that. I don't have a brayer, and I don't want to screw up my thing here, so I'm just gonna... Sorry about the noise. Which also a little bit distressed. It didn't pick up very well, did it? Okay, well... Let's see. Give me this leaf then. Hang on. Okay. I'll do this leaf. This tumbled glass. Whew. So, if you got a pet, let me know. I don't, and like I said, I've never wanted a cat. I don't hate cats or anything. I love cats. I just didn't really want to own one. That would just kind of appeared on my doorstep. Well, not my doorstep exactly, but you know what I mean. Do these cling to this? Yes. I don't know anything about these stamps. I'm not talking about the stamp block. I'm talking about the stamp. So, if I ask what y'all feel might be a rather stupid question to nothing, remember that I have no frame of reference for these stamps. Never seen them. Never heard. I mean, I guess I have heard of them. They're Stampers Anonymous, I think. But I believe this was before my time. This type of stamp. I don't know if they're still a thing or not. Ooh, that turned out pretty. You see it? No. How about now? No. It's there. It's light because of the brown background. But I think that's where we're going to leave that now. And I'm going to call that piece of money done. I like putting the mushroom there, but I don't know, I feel like I need something else for this one. Yeah. So that's how the story of how I got Peaches. Plus like 1,000 other tangents. Yeah, see, these are snowflakes. But I don't know anything about these. I've heard of Stampers Anonymous, I think. I want to say I have. Don't hold me to that though, because my mind isn't always the greatest. Here's another leaf. Let us use this. This is a rain pattern stamp. Again, this is from that Goodwill stamp lot that I got. Woo! It takes ink really well. Can y'all see that? So let's get some green rain going on here. Toxic rain. I know that's not the words. That song was everywhere when it came out. Love this. And it really does kind of look like rain if you just kind of randomly put it places. Y'all watching anything? Doing anything? I started watching the Netflix show about the Menendez brothers today. I'm not a fan of that show. Now, I'm not, it's not because I support the Menendez brothers or anything. I think what they did was horrible. Whatever the reasons for it. But that's neither here nor there. I don't like the graphic depictions in that show, so if you're opposed to graphic depictions, don't watch it. I'm not opposed to graphic depictions either, it just seemed gratuitous. And I'm opposed to gratuitous graphic depictions. If there's no need for it, then don't do it. Don't just put it in because you can, or, you know, like, I'm sure they thought, oh, this will make it better. It did not. The story's graphic enough. Do we really need the extras? But I'm not here to judge. If that's your thing, I mean, it's a good story. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't keep up with the Menendez brothers. That was not something I watched. I wasn't into news back then, you know, but you know, so I don't know how accurate it is, but they're telling a good story. They're just a lot of graphic depictions in there. Mostly, I just watch YouTube. As a matter of fact, I need to touch my Xbox controller or else it'll tell me it's going to go to sleep. But right now I'm watching Paper Terrace Marathon on mask making. Pardon me again, folks. I'm so sorry. What do I want to put with that? Let's do this. I think that goes. Does that go? I don't think Wormwood Whispers goes. Let's see. I don't have a whole lot in here in this box. Most of this is envelopes or pockets, and those are things we're doing later. Not now. I do have a lot of ribbon though. So, what if I do something with some of this ribbon? Look at this ribbon. Is that not fairy ribbon? Look at that. I dare you to tell me these are not fairy ribbons. And if you do, you know you lie. You know every bit of that is a fairy ribbon. Shiny. The Fae love shiny. And they like tricking people. This is for the Halloween box. I don't know how it got over here. Well, because I was sorting them both at the same time, that's how. Trying to see if there's anything else I have already cut that would look really good in this. But I'm not seeing much. that would look good and is not already a something. Oh, here's a treasure chest. That might. And then I have these other little journal cards. The tiniest pockets you have ever seen in your life. I love the tiny pockets. A lot of people are going to say, oh, those tiny pockets are so... Why would you make them so small? Well, there's a reason they made them that small. I don't know what their reason is, but let me tell you that I like tiny pockets because sometimes I make tiny notebooks. If you look back through the channel, you'll see at least one or two absolutely way tiny notebooks, or journals, I mean, fully functioning journals, because that was the challenge at the time, as was the style at the time. Sorry, y'all. I know I am spending a lot of time on this. We're at an hour. I'm going to finish this card and be done. I'm so sorry, you guys. I didn't make as many of these as I did the Halloweens because I don't have as many ephemera bits, and that is because I haven't finished printing the ephemera bits for these. But let me go about finishing this card real quick. These little bits and bobs. And I'm going to use this treasure chest, I think, instead of this, because I like the treasure chest. Round the corners. Round the corners. Rounding the corners makes it look more finished, and that is not going to go. That is not going to work. Oh my goodness, it worked. But I feel like it's a good thing I'm not doing a decorative one on this, because I don't think a decorative one would get this done. See, it doesn't always punch the corner, which makes me so mad. So mad. Oh my goodness. I didn't think that one was gonna go. This is a thick boy. And it rolled up the corner, so I'll have to glue that back down. I think this is one I made with packaging, which is probably why it's so hard to cut. There we go. So I got that. And I'm going to pop this up. I'm not going to make you sit through a dozen tiny dots. We're going to use this pop-up tape. Because this is a mostly straight surface. So pop-up tape will do fine. My granddad just got out of the hospital. He is 83, 84. I think he'll be 84 this year. I'm trying to count in my head, but I can't remember for sure. But anyway, he blacked out, and they weren't sure why, and took him to the emergency room, and it's good they did. He had a blockage in his left artery, the Widowmaker artery, by the way. Said if they hadn't caught it when they did, it would have got him. But they caught it, and they put a stent in it. So he's back, not at home, he's staying at my aunt's place. which means he is in a place that is safe for him to get around. He's on my cousin's property. She's got 10 acres, I believe, maybe 20, but I think it's 10, that her parents bought when she was a baby. Like, she was barely toddling around, and they bought this land. And you know, I used to go out there with them and clear it because, well, I wouldn't clear it so much as babysit, but built a house. They've been out there a long time. Long time. She's 10 years younger than I. So close to 30 years ago, maybe this. You know, and my cousin and her husband moved in, took it over, because my aunt is getting to a bad point. She had her hip replaced. But now my granddad is staying with my aunt in a the house that my aunt is staying in was custom built for mobility issues and wheelchairs and accessibility. But so he's staying somewhere safe and being watched over. I know he's gonna pass eventually. Everyone does, but I'm not ready for that. I don't want to let him go because while there were a lot of problems, and for a long time I hated him and my grandmother because they stole me from my mother. That is what my brain... I realized that it was better for me like that, but that doesn't make it easier, especially when you're a kid. But as many problems as we've had, and as strict as he is and all that, and militant in some ways, he's still the man who raised me. You know, my grandfather. It's hard to let go of all that, really. There's a lot going on there, but yeah, I'm not ready for him to go. I know he's probably ready, but in all this talking we did, we only made 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, which is still pretty good, but we made 10 yesterday. So, but again, I don't have as much ephemera for the fairies as I do for the Halloween. But here we are. 10 cards. 6 cards, sorry. Hope you enjoyed your stay. Hit that like button. And I forgot to tell y'all last time, but make sure you're telling me in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like about the video. If there's anything that I'm doing that you might think would be easier a different way, or a product that I'm using that you think I should get a different one because it's better, I'm always open to suggestions. Actual criticism. Don't just come in and say, "Ooh, that's horrible." If you're going to criticize me, say, "Hey, yeah, maybe wasn't quite done," or so, you know, whatever, but make it constructive. You know, everybody likes constructive, not destructive. But let me know what you want to see more of, and if you want to hear less of the, I don't know, family things. Like the stories, I try to keep them upbeat. I'll try to have one prepared for you next time, so that it's a little more upbeat. But yeah, let me know. And let me know if you got any pets, you know, what they are, what their names are, that kind of thing. If you can send me a picture, I don't know if you can send pictures in the YouTube comments. If not, go over to the Facebook group and I'll open up a thread for pets, because I want to boop that Snoop. I like pets. I'm not a fan of birds, but I can appreciate a bird as long as I don't have to actually touch it. Like I tell you to boop the snoot. So yeah. Thank you for being here. Really and truly, I know I say this every time, and y'all are probably tired of hearing it. I love you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. And I'm not making any money off of this. I'm not monetized. I might be in the future. I do plan on it once I get enough subscribers. If I get enough subscribers. But if I don't, I know I've got subscribers. And I know that y'all come and you watch and you appreciate what I do just by watching the video. You're appreciating my work, and I think that's really cool. Like, if it wasn't for that, what would I be doing this for? If not for you guys. Like, I wouldn't make YouTube videos for myself to watch. I don't want to go back and hear my own voice. I think I have a horrible voice. And don't get in the comments telling me you like my voice. But yeah, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. So thank you again for being here. And check out all my links down below. There's Ko-fi, Linktree, Facebook, all those places you can get in touch with me. If you want to support me, go have a look at my Ko-fi. I've got 2 kits out for sale right now. I can't remember if I left my Halloween, Valloween, which is Valentine's with skulls, kit up or not. It's a very small kit. It's just a couple of folios, and they're, you know, on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, so they're not very big. That was my first kit that I put out, and it is small. I did give it away for free in my Facebook group. There are a lot of freebies in my Facebook group. I participate in challenges with other designers when I can. This month we're actually doing a Fairy Wings and Forgotten Things challenge. It's a scavenger hunt where every day you go and you find the person who posted and find out what the prompt of the day was and where to put it on your game board. It's really fun. You should have YouTube and Facebook and Instagram for that, but it's not 100% necessary. There are other ways of finding out what the prompt was. You just have to hunt for them. Make sure you check out the link, the Lottie's Magic Attic Facebook group down in the link description below, and make sure you check out the Fairy Wings and Forgotten Things Linktree that's listed below. It has all the collaborators, the 11 collaborators, and if you click each day, it will link to that collaborator's channel where they are released, or channel, social, wherever they're releasing their photo, video, or what have you of the prompt of the day. For more information on that, make sure you're checking out the Lottie's Magic Attic Facebook group. The featured section has everything you need to know. I also have a public playlist of Fairy Wings and Forgotten Things videos that are on YouTube. Make sure you check that out. You can watch through everything. You can hear the story of Professor Fernscribe, who is our host for the event, and what she's got to say about the Fae. You can find the links to the daily prompts that are on YouTube. And again, not all of them are. Some of them are on Facebook. Some of them are on Instagram. I don't believe any of them are on TikTok. But don't hold me to that part. Yeah. Check out all the links. I'm sorry we went over an hour with me yakking about at the end here. But it's only by 4 or 5 minutes. I'm sorry. So, I will see y'all in the next one. Make sure you have a wonderful day and take care of each other. Hit that subscribe button. I forgot that. But yeah, have a good day. Take care of each other, and don't let them get you down. You got this. You can do this. It's never as hard as it feels like. Yeah. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.